You have been trying so hard. I need you to hear that before we go any further. I see the effort, the vision boards. The affirmations you have repeated so many times they stopped sounding like words. The journals, the techniques, the videos, so many videos, watched late at night with the screen glowing above your face, hoping that this one, maybe this one, will finally explain what you have been doing wrong. And still, the big thing has not come, the thing you cannot even say aloud because naming it would make the wanting unbearable. It has not come. And somewhere beneath all the trying, a thought has taken root, quietly, where you do not let anyone see it. The thought is this: maybe I cannot do this. Maybe other people can manifest because something in them works that does not work in me. Maybe I am the problem. You are not the problem. But you have been asking the wrong question. You have been asking how to manifest what you want. Tonight, I am going to show you something far more powerful. I am going to help you discover what you actually want, because they are not the same thing. And the distance between those two, between what you have been chasing and what your soul has been quietly begging you to notice, that distance is the exact shape of your suffering. So stay with me. What I am about to share with you is not another technique. It is the reason no technique has worked, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Now, let me say something that might unsettle you. You have been manifesting your entire life perfectly, without a single error. Everything around you, every circumstance, every absence, every ache, you manifested it. Not because you wanted it, but because manifestation was never about what you want. It was always about what you believe you are. Sit with that for a moment, because I know what you have been taught. You have been taught that manifestation is a technique. Visualize it, feel it, believe it, raise your vibration. Say the right words, in the right order, at the right frequency, and the universe will deliver your order like some kind of cosmic room service. And so you tried so faithfully. The scripting, the 5x55 method, the subliminals playing while you slept, the 2-cup method. You tried living in the end. You tried letting go. You tried not trying, which is its own exhausting kind of trying, isn't it? And maybe it worked for small things: a free coffee, a text from someone you had been thinking about, a parking space. Enough to keep you believing. Enough to keep you watching one more video, reading one more book, buying one more journal with a pretty cover that you filled with intentions that never quite materialized. But the real thing, the deep thing, the one that wakes you up at 3 in the morning and sits on your chest like a stone, that has not come. You've felt this, haven't you? And here is what breaks my heart. You did not blame the technique. You blamed yourself. You decided that the problem must be you. Your vibration was too low. Your belief was not strong enough. Your doubt was sabotaging you. And so even your sadness about failing became evidence of further failure, because if negative emotions block manifestation, then you cannot even grieve your disappointment without making things worse. What a trap! What a cruel, invisible trap! So hear me now, and hear me clearly. There is nothing broken in you, nothing missing, nothing defective. The fact that it has not worked is not evidence that you are unworthy of the life you desire. It is evidence that you have been given the wrong map. You have been following directions to a place that does not exist and blaming your legs for not arriving. You are allowed to put that blame down now. It was never yours to carry. So, if you are not broken, and you are not, then what has gone wrong? Why has the universe seemed to ignore your deepest prayers? The answer is simpler and more unsettling than you might expect. There are two kinds of wanting. The first comes from the mind. It looks outward. It says, I want that car, that body, that relationship, that number in my bank account. This wanting is loud, specific, urgent. It fills vision boards and journal pages and 3 a.m. visualization sessions. It is the wanting you have been taught to manifest with. The second wanting comes from somewhere deeper. It does not shout, it hums. It has been with you since before you had words for it. It does not say, I want $1 million. It says, I want to feel safe. It does not say, I want that person to love me. It says, I want to come home to myself. You know? And here is what no one tells you about manifestation. These two wantings are often at war. Your mind says, I want wealth. Your soul says, I want freedom. And they are not the same thing. Your mind says, I want them to love me. Your soul says, I want to stop abandoning myself. Not the same thing at all. Your mind says, I want success. Your soul says, I want to feel real. Does this make sense? Let me tell you about a man I once knew. He spent years manifesting financial abundance. He visualized, he affirmed, he worked 80-hour weeks with the image of a number burning in his mind. And he reached it. He achieved the exact figure he had written in his journal 3 years earlier, to the dollar. And on the night he reached that number, he sat alone in a beautiful apartment, in a beautiful city, wearing beautiful clothes, and he felt nothing, not joy, not triumph, not even relief. Just a hollow, ringing silence where the celebration should have been. Because what he had actually wanted, beneath every visualization, beneath every affirmation, beneath the number itself, was for his father to say, I am proud of you. That was the real wish. That was the deep wanting. And no amount of money could grant it because he had been manifesting the symbol and ignoring the substance. This is the quiet tragedy of most manifestation. You get exactly what you asked for, and it is not what you wanted. You get the relationship, but not the feeling of being seen. You get the success, but not the peace. You get the body, but not the self-acceptance. You manifest the wrapper and wonder why the gift inside is missing. Take a moment with that. Think of the thing you have been trying to manifest. The thing on your vision board, the thing in your journal, the thing you whisper to the ceiling before you fall asleep. Now ask yourself honestly, what is beneath it? If you had it, fully, completely, tomorrow morning, how would you feel? Hold that answer. We will need it soon. There is a story, very old, from the yogic traditions of India, about a tree called the Kalpavriksha, the wishing tree. It is said that whoever sits beneath its branches will have every thought in their mind made real, every single one. A traveler had been walking for a very long time, years in fact. He had crossed deserts looking for happiness in one city, then another, then another. He had tried wealth, he had tried love. He had tried reinventing himself so many times he could not remember which version was the original. You know this feeling, don't you? And none of it had worked. None of it had filled the hole he carried in his chest like a second heartbeat. Exhausted, he came to a clearing. And in the center of this clearing stood the most extraordinary tree he had ever seen. Its canopy stretched so wide it seemed to hold up the sky. Its shade was cool and deep and felt like the first kind thing that had happened to him in months. He sat down beneath it. He did not know what this tree was. He leaned back against its trunk, and almost without thinking he thought, I wish I had something cold to drink. I am so thirsty. And a stream appeared. Clear, cold water running over smooth stones, right at his feet. He drank. He laughed. He thought, I wish I had something to eat. And a feast appeared. Warm bread, ripe fruit, things he had not tasted since he was a child in his mother's kitchen. Now, imagine you are this man. You have been struggling for years, nothing has worked, and suddenly every thought becomes real. What would you do? He did what any of us would do. He wished for more. A soft bed appeared, then a beautiful home around the bed, then fine clothes, then gold, each thought granted, instantly, effortlessly. And with each new thing, his wishes grew louder, faster, greedier, because this is what the mind does when it has spent a lifetime in lack. It does not know how to stop wanting. It only knows how to want more, and more, and more. And for a moment he was happy, or something close to it, the kind of happiness that vibrates a little too fast, that grips a little too tight, that looks over its shoulder even while it smiles. Because that is what happened next. Sitting in his beautiful home, surrounded by everything he had ever asked for, the traveler's mind did what an untrained mind always does when it runs out of things to want. It started to fear. This cannot be real, he thought. Something must be wrong. There must be a trick. What if there is something dangerous here, something hiding, something terrible waiting behind all this beauty? And because the tree grants every thought held in the heart, a shadow appeared at the edge of the clearing. What if it is a demon, he thought, and it was. What if it destroys everything I have, and it began to? What if it devours me? And it did. He was not killed by a demon. There was no demon. He was killed by his own mind, a mind so trained in fear and grasping that even in paradise, even with a tree that would give him anything, the loudest voice in him was the voice that whispered, "You do not deserve this, and something is coming to take it away." Hello, the tree did not fail him. The tree gave him exactly what he held in his heart. And what he held in his heart was fear wearing the mask of desire. How many of us are sitting beneath a wishing tree right now, manifesting demons? But there is a second part to this story, one that is rarely told. A second traveler arrived at the same clearing, beneath the same tree, on the same day. But she had not been wandering in search of something. She had been wandering because she had finally stopped searching. She was not exhausted from effort. She was exhausted from surrender. She had tried everything, every strategy, every plan, every version of herself she thought the world wanted, and one day, quietly, without announcement, she let it all go. Not because she was strong, because she was too tired to hold on any longer. She sat beneath the kalpavriksha. She did not know what it was either, but she did not wish for water. She did not wish for gold. She did not wish for anything. She simply sat. She breathed. For the first time in as long as she could remember, she was not performing, not planning, not rehearsing what to want next. She was just there, present, quiet. Isn't it strange how rare that is? And in that silence she heard something, very faint, like a voice from inside the bark of the tree itself. It said, "You have spent your whole life asking for what you want. You have never once asked what wants to come through you." She did not understand it immediately, but she stayed with it. She let the question settle into her body the way rain settles into soil, not forcing, not analyzing, just allowing. And what happened next was not dramatic. There was no feast, no gold, no mansion appearing from thin air. What happened was that something inside her chest, something that had been clenched for years, decades maybe, slowly, gently opened. Like a fist becoming a hand, like a hand becoming an offering. You felt that, didn't you? That opening. And in the days and weeks that followed, things began to arrive in her life. The right people appeared without being summoned. The right doors opened without being forced. Not because she demanded them, not because she visualized them with emotional intensity at a specific frequency, but because she had stopped being a locked door. She had stopped broadcasting the signal of "I am not enough without this" and started simply being a person who was present, open, and listening. And it turns out that is the only signal the universe has ever needed to hear. The same tree, the same magic, two travelers. One asked, "What can I get?" The other asked, "What am I here to give?" The tree answered both of them with absolute honesty. This story is not about two strangers in an old Indian myth. This story is about you, tonight, right now. You are sitting beneath the Kalpavriksha. You have always been sitting beneath it. Every thought you hold, every belief you carry about yourself and what you deserve, the tree is granting all of it. It has never stopped. And I say this with the deepest compassion. How many of your wishes have been born from fear? How many of your affirmations were not statements of truth, but attempts to outrun a belief you have never faced? How many times have you visualized the gold, the success, the love, while underneath, so quiet you could barely hear it, the real voice was whispering, "You will never be enough, and something will take this away"? That is not a failure of your technique. That is the first traveler. That is a mind so trained in lack that it manifests lack even while asking for abundance. But you are also the second traveler. You are. The part of you that clicked on this video, the part that has always known the vision board was not quite right, the part that is tired, not lazy, not weak, but genuinely, spiritually tired of chasing, that part has been trying to sit you down beneath this tree for a long time now and say, "Stop asking for things and start listening for truth." And if you recognize yourself in the first traveler, if you have spent years wishing from fear, grasping from lack, manifesting from the desperate belief that you are not enough without that thing, I do not judge you. Neither does the tree. You were never punished for wanting. You were only given exactly what you held in your heart. And now, right now, you can choose differently. You do not need to leave the tree. You only need to sit differently beneath it. So let us sit together now, not in a hurry, not rushing toward the next technique, just here, you and I, and this question that has been waiting for you. Before you can manifest what you really want, you must discover what you really want, and that requires a willingness to peel. Think of the thing you most want to manifest right now. Hold it, see it clearly, name it silently. Now ask, if I had this thing, fully, completely, tomorrow, how would I feel? What is the feeling beneath the thing? Stay with that feeling. Name it. Is it safety, freedom, worthiness, love, peace? Now ask again, why do I not feel this now? What do I believe must happen before I am allowed to feel this way? That belief, that is what you have been manifesting from, not the wish. The belief that you cannot feel whole until something outside you changes. The belief that you need permission from the universe before you are allowed to feel like yourself. Here is the permission no one gives you in manifestation teachings. You are allowed to feel the feeling first, before the thing arrives, before the circumstance changes, before anyone else validates you. You are allowed to feel safe now, worthy now, at peace now. Not as a trick to attract things faster, not as a strategy, but because it is true, you are already these things. You have simply been waiting for the world to confirm what your soul already knows. Stay with that, stay right there. What you really want is not a thing, it never was. What you really want is to stop feeling like you need something you do not have in order to be someone you already are. Let that land. Say it to yourself again quietly. Let it settle the way the second traveler let the trees whisper settle, not with the mind, but with the body. So here is what I invite you to do. Not someday, not when the video ends, but now, in this breath. Each morning, or each night before sleep, sit for 1 minute, only one, and ask not what do I want, but what wants to move through me today. Do not answer with your mind. Let the answer rise from below thought. It may come as a word, an image, a feeling, a direction, a gentle pull towards something you cannot explain. Trust it. This is not visualization. This is not affirmation. This is listening, and it is the most powerful manifestation practice you will ever learn, because it aligns you with something larger than your plans. Try it now. Close your eyes if you are somewhere safe to do so. One breath. Ask quietly, what wants to come through me? And wait. Whatever arose, however faint, however strange, that is the voice of your deepest wanting. That is the voice the second traveler learned to hear beneath the tree. This is the practice. Not 5 steps, not a frequency, not a formula you will forget by morning. Just this. 1 minute, one question, one breath of willingness to hear what has always been speaking. Now, you may wonder, is this truly enough? 1 minute of stillness? No elaborate ritual? Let me show you why every wisdom tradition that has ever existed agrees on this one point. I did not learn this from a book. I learned it from years of sitting in silence, asking the wrong questions, and wondering why the silence never answered, until one morning it did, not with words. With the absence of the question, the need to ask simply dissolved, and what remained was everything I had been looking for. And so I went searching through the traditions to understand what had happened to me. And I found the same truth everywhere. In the yogic tradition, there is a concept called sankalpa, a resolve that arises not from the restless mind, but from the deepest layer of your being. The teachers say a sankalpa born from stillness has the force of the entire universe behind it. A wish born from agitation has only your exhaustion behind it. The Buddhist masters taught that craving, that desperate grasping for what we lack, is the root of all suffering. Not desire itself, desperate desire, the kind that says, I cannot be whole until I have this. They taught that when you release the grip, not the caring but the grip, what you need flows to you like water finding its level. And there is a line from the Zen tradition that has stayed with me for many years. Sit quietly, doing nothing. Spring comes, and the grass grows by itself. This is not laziness. This is the deepest form of trust. The trust that you are already held by something wiser than your plans. Isn't it so? Even the Stoic philosophers taught that the only true power is alignment with your nature. Not forcing the world to match your expectations, but discovering what you were made for and living from that truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote of living like a vine that bears grapes, not straining, not performing, simply being what it is and letting the fruit come. Do you hear it? 4 traditions, thousands of years apart, different languages, different continents, different paths entirely. And yet, every one of them arrived at the same door. Stop grasping. Start listening. Become who you are, and what is yours will find you. When you manifest from grasping, from the desperate energy of, I need this to be okay, you are broadcasting a single message to every cell in your body, to every person you meet, to every opportunity that approaches you. The message is, I am not enough, and the world believes you. It has no choice. because the tree grants what you hold in your heart. Yes? But when you manifest from alignment, from the quiet knowing that you are already whole, and this desire is simply the next expression of that wholeness, the message changes. It becomes, I am here, I am ready, I am open. And that is a frequency the universe has been waiting to hear from you. You do not have to earn this alignment. You do not have to meditate for 20 years or read 50 books or reach some imaginary level of spiritual development before you are allowed to access it. You simply have to stop, breathe, and remember what every tradition has been trying to tell you. You were never separate from what you seek. You never could be. Have you ever watched a river and thought, that river is really trying hard to reach the ocean? No. The river does not try. It does not affirm its way to the sea. It does not visualize the ocean with emotional intensity. It simply moves in the direction its nature has already set for it, and the ocean is there, waiting, as it always was. You have a direction. It was set before your first breath. Your only work now is to stop building dams. And now I want to tell you something about the journey that brought you here, to this video, to this moment, to these exact words, at this exact hour. Every failed manifestation attempt was not a failure. It was your soul saying, no, not this, go deeper. Every vision board that did not materialize was not evidence of your unworthiness. It was a compass, pointing you past the shallow water toward the depths where your true desire lives. Every technique you tried, every book you read, every night you lay awake wondering what was wrong with you, it was all bringing you here. To the moment you finally stop trying to manifest a life and start living as the person who already has everything they need, you have not wasted a single moment, not one. You are allowed to release that regret now. It was the long way around to the door you are standing in front of right now. So here is what I know about you. Yes, you listening to this right now in the dark or on the bus or walking somewhere with your headphones in. I tell you this not as philosophy, but as someone who sat beneath his own tree for a very long time, wishing, grasping, fearing, before he learned to listen. You are not someone who needs to learn a better technique. You are someone who needs to be reminded of what you already are. You are not someone who lacks the ability to manifest. You are someone who has been so busy manifesting from fear that you forgot you could manifest from love. You do not need another vision board. You do not need a higher vibration. You do not need to be fixed or upgraded or improved. You need 1 minute of silence and the courage to listen to what rises. And notice, right now, as you hear these words, what is happening in your body. Your shoulders may have softened. Your breath may have dropped a little lower, a little slower. That is not an accident. That is your body remembering what your mind has been too busy to feel. That is alignment. It has been waiting for you to stop long enough to notice it. You are already home. And if you try this, if tonight or tomorrow morning you sit for 1 minute and ask what wants to come through me, I believe something will shift. Not because I gave you a magic formula, but because you finally gave yourself permission to hear what was already being said. You are sitting beneath the Kalpavriksha. You have always been sitting beneath it. The tree has always been granting your deepest truth. The only question that remains is this: what will you hold in your heart now? Before you go, or before you rest if it is night where you are, receive this. May you stop chasing what was always behind you. May you stop building what was already built. May you sit beneath your tree, the one you have been running past your whole life, and may you finally hear what it has been whispering. You are not broken. You never were. You were simply looking for yourself in places you could never be found. Be still, listen, Trust what rises. Everything you truly want is already on its way to you. Your only work now is to stop running long enough to let it arrive. If this found you at the right moment, leave the word "still" in the comments. You will know why. And if someone you love needs to hear this tonight, send it to them quietly. No explanation needed. The right words find the right person at the right time. I will see you in the next one. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You deserve that.